Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. And I can only start one place today. I mean, this is a Jamie Vardy special. It was unbelievable news when I heard it yesterday that Arsenal had triggered the release clause of Jamie Vardy. I was over in Southampton actually at St Mary's watching the charity football game that was put on by KSI and the Sidemen, and the news filtered through to me, and at first I saw it and I was like, Jamie Vardy, this must be just people just spreading rumours and that. And then I got a phone call and it was confirmed to me and I was like, wow, this is massive news. Jamie Vardy, last year prolific in the Premier League, scored 24 goals, 6 assists, Football Writers Player of the Year, you know, the player really that scored the goals that won Leicester the league last season. And now this guy has been linked with a move to Arsenal. Absolutely incredible, because I just thought to myself, there's no way on earth. You know what, I heard a few weeks ago somebody at Arsenal said to me, you know what, Wenger loves Jamie Vardy, right? And because I was going on about Maris and Kante, and he was going, you know what, I'll have to try and get in contact with this guy and say, yeah, what else do you know? He was going to me, you know what, Vardy's the one he really loved to get. And I was like, yeah, but Leicester would never sell Vardy, and blah, blah, blah. And now Arsenal have triggered the release clause of Jamie Vardy. And it's incredible news. It's incredible news. It's big news. I mean, for Leicester, you know, obviously they're going, you know, they must be kind of distraught at the moment. They want to hang on to their biggest name at the club right now. And for Arsenal, if they were to get Jamie Vardy in, it would be a massive move for Arsenal. We all know we've been looking for a striker, and could Jamie Vardy be that striker that is going to take Arsenal forward? First of all, let's just look at what this means, right? When you trigger the release clause, all right? So basically, Arsenal have said to Leicester, we'll meet that 20 million, which is a very low release clause for a guy that scored 24 goals last season. And as I said, you know, picked up so much plaudits. Playing for England, remember, only just burst into the England team, but it's hit the ground running. 3 goals already for England. So we've met the release clause. And now what that means is that Arsenal Football Club are free to talk to Leicester and are free to talk to Jamie Vardy. They can talk to him. The only person now that can kind of stop this whole thing from going through is Jamie Vardy himself. If he turns around and says, well, you know what, thanks a lot, Arsenal, but I've decided that I really want to stay at Leicester. They've been great to me. They've brought me to where I am. So, you know, I really want to stay at Leicester and I really want to, you know, continue on this journey. Or will Jamie Vardy turn around and say, well, you know what, wow, an opportunity to play for Arsenal, one of the biggest clubs in the world, bigger stadium, the manager, the players that I'll play with, Alexis Sanchez, Mesut Ozil, Santi Cazorla, all these guys, you know, it's going to be really hard for him to turn this down. On top of that, there's also the matter of money. Remember, Jamie Vardy's 29 years of age now, and you know, I know they upped his money at Leicester. He's now on about £80,000 a week. I think previously he was on 45 grand a week. They've upped it to 80. He's recently signed a new deal, keeping him in there, keeping him at Leicester until 2019. But now, you know, he could go to Arsenal. They could say, well, hold on, we'll increase that. We'll give you 100,000 a week or 120,000 a week. You know, it's going to be so hard for Jamie Vardy, just as he's going to the Euros, to make a decision on what he's going to do. And even like, he might be thinking England as well. He might be thinking to himself, well, you know what? It's hard to get into this England team. I'm up against Kane. I'm up against Sturridge. I'm up against Rashford now. They're all at like big glamorous clubs at Liverpool. Well, I don't know if Tottenham's a big glamorous club, but you know what I mean. Tottenham, you know, they're all at bigger clubs than Leicester, basically. Manchester United, Rashford, Rooney is at Man United. So he might be thinking, if I'm at Arsenal and I'm banging in the goals at Arsenal, I'm banging in the goals in the Champions League, my name's always in the headlines because I'm at one of the biggest clubs in the world. my chances of playing for England in the World Cup in the next couple of years is going to be increased as well. There's so many things for him to think about when it comes to this move. And the fact that he'll be playing under a manager like Arsene Wenger. So it's going to be absolutely incredible to see what happens, what's the outcome of this. We're being told that Arsenal would like to get this whole thing sorted out within the next 48 hours. Either way, it's big news. It's out of the blue for me because I wasn't expecting this. You know that we've been talking about lots of other strikers on the show, in particular Alvaro Morata, who I was told that's the #1 target. Could still be. This could still be, as some people are suggesting, some sort of smokescreen to say to Morata, listen, hurry up and sort your business out or we're going to go with Vardy. You really don't know. But as I said a few weeks ago, somebody at Arsenal told me Vardy, Wenger loves him. And look at his style of football. His style of football to me would perfectly suit Arsenal. I was having a bit of a Twitter argument with somebody yesterday and they were saying, oh yeah, but it's just balls over the top for him to run onto. Well, oh yeah, they did that a lot at Leicester and he was brilliant at it. You know, one-on-ones. He was so dangerous because he's so quick and we need that quick player. That's one of the reasons why we've all been saying Aubameyang would be brilliant because of his pace. Well, Vardy has got the same sort of pace. Now, yes, it was balls over the top for Leicester, but playing for Arsenal, he's going to have the creativity of that midfield behind him, right? And no disrespect to Danny Drinkwater, who done brilliant in combination with Vardy, but imagine Mesut Ozil putting through balls in for Vardy, Santi Cazorla, Jack Wilshere, you know, Granit Xhaka now, all these guys playing this guy through. I mean, I think he could score lots and lots of goals at Arsenal. And I couldn't agree with this guy yesterday. He was like, oh, it's just balls over the top. And, oh, well, every team now is just going to sit deep and, you know, nullify that effect. Well, teams sit deep against Leicester towards the end of last season. And he's still scoring the goals. So I think it would be very positive if we got Jamie Vardy. There is, of course, the other thing about it, and that is his age. Now, the age, of course, is a factor. Jamie Vardy is 29, and that is another reason why it's kind of surprised me, because we all know that Wenger likes younger players. You know, he likes the young. But I was looking at, you know, and there were some people saying, oh, that's too old, too old. You know, it doesn't make sense. Well, first of all, I think at first, you know, you look at it and I'm like, 29, that is knocking on a bit. But when you look on it, he played for Fleetwood Town previously, Halifax. He's very, you know, he's coming at this level at a very late stage. So to me, he's what I consider a young 29, if that makes sense. So he's still fresh to the whole thing. So I think, and if you see the way he travels with the ball and that, I think that's not going to be a problem, his age. Also, look at the age of some of the other strikers that are around at the moment that have been touted out there. Look, you know, take a look. Higuain, he's 28, so he's only a year younger, right? And a lot of us would love to see Higuain come in. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who we're hearing could go to Manchester United, he's 34. Sergio Aguero is 28. Luis Suarez is 29. I bet you didn't realise that. Luis Suarez is 29. Carlos Bacca, brilliant striker as well, plays for AC Milan. He's 29. Aubameyang, actually, he's not 29, he's younger, but he's 27 in a couple of weeks' time, so only a couple of years back. And this is one that I just wanted to remind everybody of. When we bought Ian Wright, he was 28. And also very similar to Jamie Vardy in that he started his sort of top flight career very late. Remember, he's playing for Dulwich Hamlets and playing sort of very low league, non-league football. I mean, Vardy's story is very similar in a way to Ian Wright. So Ian Wright was a late comer at 28. Vardy, we'd be signing at 29. I still think Vardy would be an excellent signing. I saw a tweet, I think it was from DT yesterday, and he was saying to people, listen, he couldn't understand why some people weren't excited about the signing. And he was saying, listen, if his name was not Jamie Vardy, but Vardinho, and he was from Brazil, and he had that prolific goal scoring record, and he was playing in Italy or Spain, we'd all be falling over ourselves saying, well done, Wenger, bring him in. I think it would be an incredible signing if we got Vardy. I did a poll yesterday on Twitter asking people whether you think it's a good signing or a bad signing, and the results of that was 70% of you said good signing, 30% of you said bad signing. All right, so a little bit of a split, but most people seem to be in favour of it. There is, of course, with Jamie Vardy, a bit of baggage, and that is remember this whole thing, the racism thing, where he got into this big row at a casino with a Japanese gentleman, and he used some derogatory terms, racist terms actually. He had to come out and apologise, and he's been known for, blowing his temper, blowing his top and having a bit of a temper. They even nickname him the Cannon because of it. So there's that bit of baggage with Jamie Vardy as well. So that again is something that, it's going to put a lot of people off. A lot of people are not going to be happy with that. But when it comes to goal scoring, you cannot deny that Jamie Vardy is at the moment one of the top strikers in England and one of the top strikers in Europe. And if you can get one of the top strikers in Europe for £20 million, which, come on, in this day and age for a top striker is nothing, for me it's a no-brainer, and I would be more than happy to see Jamie Vardy come into Arsenal Football Club. What do you guys think? Just before I get into a couple of comments from yesterday, that's what I'm going to ask. That's the question for today. It's simple. Would you like to have Vardy at Arsenal? Do you think he'd be good for us? Yes or no? Leave it in the comments below. A couple of comments. Ika Boy Broju says Lacazette is better than Morata. I was asking yesterday about Morata, if he'd be happy with Morata. Moo Loop says even Balotelli scored more goals than Morata last season. I say Arsenal ditch this kid and go for Aubameyang or Lacazette. And again, Lacazette, Lacazette's going to be like 30 odd million. And he's not as a prolific goal scorer this last season as Jamie Vardy was. And Jamie Vardy knows the Premier League. So 20 million. Come on, that's nothing. Mesut Ozil says, isn't Morata just as fast as Giroud? Listen, I think Morata, again, would be a good signing for Arsenal. It'd be a signing that we'd be truly, I think, behind. But, is Morata as a prolific goal scorer as Jamie Vardy? And the story, and of course, at the moment, the answer is no. So it's going to be a very exciting next 48 hours. I wouldn't like to be Jamie Vardy right now, because you know what? It must be a really hard decision for him to make. He's just won the title with Leicester. He's just about to go into the Champions League with Leicester. He's an absolute hero to the Leicester fans. How will they feel if he turns around and says, right, guys, I'm sorry, I'm going? Will they hate him for it? I mean, it's a really hard decision for him to make. Really, really hard decision. There is this other thing, right? This other rumour that I heard the other day from somebody who told me, and somebody who's, they know a few little rumours. Now, I'm not trying to be all ITK here and carry on like this is true, but he said to me he'd heard a rumour that Leicester bringing in Troy Deeney from Watford. Now, if they were thinking of doing that, could that be Vardy moving out? Listen, I don't know. It's just speculation at the moment. All I know is that it's facts. Arsenal have triggered the release clause of Jamie Vardy. It's down to Vardy now to decide whether he's going to come to Arsenal or not. At least we can say at the moment, Arsenal are not messing about in the transfer market. They are serious at the moment. I'm really liking how they're behaving aggressively. It's not 20 million and a pound. They've done it the right way. Let's see. It's over to you, Jamie Vardy. What are you going to do? Just before I go, just to remind you, get over onto the Man Like Robbie channel. We was at that charity game yesterday with KSI, the sidemen. A brilliant game, by the way. A really, really good game at St Mary's. We've got interviews and footage of that, so make sure you get over there onto Man Like Robbie and check it out. They actually live streamed that game, and apparently it was watched by more people live on YouTube. Remember, they screened, YouTube also did a live screening of the Champions League final. Apparently that game yesterday, that charity game, got more people watching it live than the Champions League final. That's absolutely incredible. I mean, the pulling power of those guys. So get over onto that channel, onto Man Like Robbie, and check it out. And finally, I just got to say a word about Muhammad Ali, my absolute hero. When I woke up this morning and I heard about his death, I was truly gutted. I mean, growing up, he was just like my sporting hero. I was talking to somebody a couple of days ago because Pele was in town, and I didn't get over to see Pele. He was opening, he was doing some thing at this shop in London, and I didn't make it, and I was gutted about it. I was like, and I was saying it was Hugh Wizzy I was talking to, and I was saying, you know what, my absolute heroes, Pele, but my biggest sporting hero ever is Muhammad Ali. It's the one guy I would love to meet, and then just a couple of days later, he's gone, you know, and he was just, you know, even younger people out there who don't know him, go on YouTube, Google him, look at his old fights, look at the sort of stuff he did. He just transcended sport. And I'm really, really sad to hear the news about Muhammad Ali passing away. So rest in peace, Muhammad Ali. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. We'll be back round about the same time tomorrow. Let's see what happens with Jamie Vardy.